how does your ideal self, how is it different from your real self?
Oh my gosh, that's
In
a good
what
question.
ways is your
I think
ideal self?
I think my ideal self is.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Below the Surface Conversations for Men by Men. My name is Kudakwashim Shaike. I am your host. In this channel, we have conversations with men about their lives, the things that affect them, the challenges they're facing, but also their hopes and dreams for the future. In this week, I'll be talking to Jeffrie Gonzalez. Jeffrie is a policy specialist at Google. He's also an actor and a dancer from Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
So your family is from Honduras,
Yeah.
but your mom, you say your mom was single, was a single mom.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So
how's that story?
So basically,
Yeah.
so I was born in Honduras,
Yeah.
and with my whole family there, and I came to the States when I was
Yeah.
7 years old.
Okay.
By then, so my father had left when I was like around 1.
Okay.
And so my mom was like raising me, and then I had a sister, and then a younger brother, and then another brother was on the way. So my
Okay.
mom was gonna have 4 kids.
So where did you guys move to when
We
you
moved to
from Honduras?
South Central, like near Compton area. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
LA, yeah.
Yeah. Straight
Bro,
out of
you just
Compton,
said in
bro.
the hood, bro. From Honduras into the hood,
right,
bro.
Right.
Yo,
yeah, absolutely.
What do they call it? From the pot into the fire.
Yeah. So I moved there,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you know, my biological dad wanted to come in the picture again because he found out
He
that
was
we
like,
were
"They're
in the
American."
States. Yeah. And in Honduras, like the perception is that Americans like wealthy and rich and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So he came in only to leave again a year later. So that was obviously really rough.
Wow.
But you know, it's those like kind of that pain that
Yeah.
you know builds a lot of character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
It's-
so and so your father, is he back in Honduras or is he here?
Yeah, so my he's back in Honduras.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll call, but
Yeah.
just kind of like to ask for money or stuff like that. I don't know his answer, you know, just because obviously that's
Yeah.
kind of like it's kind of painful, right? You
Yeah.
don't ever want, you know,
Yeah.
he's supposed to love you and stuff like that. So, yeah. So
And so
I haven't seen
have
him
a lot
since.
of questions.
Yeah, I know.
I have a
It's a lot to
so
tell you.
so you haven't seen him since
I was 13.
Since you were 30.
Yeah.
And you moved here how old were you?
When I was 7.
You were 7.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
wow, 5 years after you, 6 years after you moved here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man, how is that? How's been that experience?
So
for you?
I've learned to forgive him. I've learned to love him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hope someday I get to see him again
Yeah.
and have a conversation.
So do you have a relationship with him at all?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, it's more of a transactional
Yeah.
relationship.
Okay.
Because he'll call and I've given him money because
Yeah.
it sounded like he was in trouble, but
Okay.
I don't do that anymore. You know.
He was in trouble. What kind of trouble?
Yeah. That's a good question. You should ask
Yeah.
him. I have no idea. He would just tell me, you know, I need it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's my father, so
So you
So,
can't
like,
just like,
yeah,
and I think it's also a cultural thing, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know in Honduras, but back in Zimbabwe, it's like, it's almost a responsibility, like your responsibility to take care of your parents.
Yeah,
And if
your
you
parents,
don't,
absolutely.
it shows them bad on you.
Right. Selfishness
Um,
and things like that.
Wow. So how, you know, like for me, like growing up, my story is I was born in Zimbabwe,
Nice.
and then I moved. I always wanted to go abroad because, you know, I was born in a really small town
Okay.
where nothing really happens. We don't even have a theater in my
Whoa.
town. We have just like one
Yeah.
paved road.
Oh wow! At least it was paved.
One main paved road.
We had a dirt road.
so man, I wanted to get out as soon as I could, and so, but I was raised by a single parent as well. My father
Okay.
passed on when I was a year old.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
And I'm saying this to kind of like show you the context I was coming from in
Yeah.
terms of like wanting that like parenting and fatherhood that I didn't
Yeah.
get. But your experience is that your father was alive.
Yeah.
I'm sure like there were moments in your life where you needed
Oh yeah.
his
absolutely.
voice or to hear from him or to speak to him. How was that for you, and like how did you manage that? Because for me it's like I know my father is not existent, you know. It's like he's gone, so
Yeah.
it's easier for me to be like, okay, I'm struggling with this, or there are questions I have about who I am, and because I think we often look into our past, right, to
absolutely.
understand our future, or to understand why we are what we are.
Yeah.
How have you managed to deal with that?
Gosh, man, these are such good questions, dude. This is, I feel like this is therapy almost.
No, for real.
I think the challenges of like not having like that parental father figure until I was 15. That's when I met my stepdad, who I consider to be my father. I think up to that point, obviously it's difficult because you have so many questions. You know, like I was an immigrant. I moved to Los Angeles. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, you know, I kind of had to step up and take care of my brothers, my sister, feed them, clean the house and stuff like that while my mom was at work, take them to school and things like that. So you're kind of forced to grow up a little bit early.
Yeah.
But, you know, cool things like, dude, teach me how to shave because I'm over here cutting myself, you know? Simple things like
people
that.
minimize that. It's just, I think at the surface it's just a statement like, teach me how to shave.
Yeah.
But, man, it's a whole lot than you know, and I think
it's so symbolic.
It's so symbolic. And I think even for women may not understand this because just like, you want to learn how to shave.
Yeah.
But, bro, for me to be here, just on shaving itself, it's like, I had to get some crazy razor bumps. I get crazy razor bumps, bro. And the first time I shaved, because I was going to school in Singapore, so I was going to school with a lot of Indians and Asian people.
Oh, wow.
And those guys, like, they can just get a razor and shave, right? One of those razors. And I was watching them shave, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do the same thing when I started growing a beard. And then I shaved, and then the next morning I had, like, pimples everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. I know.
And so I remember, like, it took me, I'm still, like, I've just recently learned how to shave in a way not to have
same.
bumps.
Yeah,
So
you're supposed to go with the grain. What the heck? Why didn't anyone tell me?
And it's not only that, but it's just the aspect of having another man who you can learn things from.
Yeah,
it's not even just like, oh, I learned how to shave. Oh, he taught me how to ride a bike. But it's symbolic in your growth, right?
Absolutely.
So for you, you're saying like you had to do a little bit of, you know, growing alone. But do you, how, like, for me, I want to understand how that process is like.
Yeah.
Of knowing that someone could be helping you, but they're not there to help you. How's that?
Yeah, man, I think it's really difficult. And I think my mom, again, played a significant role because we did live in, like, a very dangerous neighborhood. Because that's all we could afford at the time. And so she wouldn't let me go out. She would kind of tell me to stay home and, you know, just look through the window or whatever. I remember I saw like a party through a window and I was like, Mom, can I go? And she's like, no, you can't, you know? So you're kind of growing up in like these confined quarters. And so, you know, you resort to like films and stuff like that. And I think that's why I love, you know, we were talking about earlier, I love going to the movies by myself, you know, like that's, seeing other like parental figures, I guess, like these mystical figures where you're like, man, I want to be like that. That'd be really cool. So I think, it obviously has resounding effects through the rest of your life, even up to now for both of us, right? Where we still think, you know, we see like a mom and dad together with like their kids and we're like, whoa, I think that seems really cool.
Nice. I think we were talking about, you know, your childhood and how, you know, your father not being present and you having to, you know, grow up quickly and also look for example figures in movies you're watching and films you're watching. So do you still look to movies and characters to kind of like inform yourself on how to move through space?
Gosh, yeah. Dude, that's such a phenomenal question. Because I think we all do that to some extent. You know, I think that's why we go see films and we want to be different people at different times, right? I would say for me, it's a profound and a deeply innate desire to like kind of want to be different people here and there, you know? Because, and I say that because sometimes when you're put in like predicaments and really hard situations, you kind of become someone else, right? To kind of defend yourself. And so, I would say absolutely. And I think we all do that to some extent.
So what people do you feel you had to become to defend yourself?
Well, I think I would say I actually got into some fights while I lived in South Central, and as you can see, I'm not a very big guy. So I felt like I kind of came across as like someone who was very, very tough, someone who didn't care, you know. but like deep down, I'm like, I do care.
You do care,
and
yeah.
I'm like afraid and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think one character is just like this tough dude who's like, who doesn't really care, who will take you on, right? Who's much bigger than me, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's multiple people, right?
Yeah.
What about you? Would you say that's the same thing?
For me, I think it's a little different because I think it was an early realization that, of course, the things I had to do to get out of the space that I was in, which space, like, growing up in poverty and being surrounded by poverty and wanting to be outside that poverty. The things you have to do if you don't have money to finance you doing those things, and part of it is just like studying really hard.
Hustle. You gotta grind.
Part of it is like I had to turn off everything else that was happening around me. I had to turn off who was dating who was doing what, who was interested in me, and like, okay, I need to get these grades, I need to be hustling. So I guess maybe you could say it was me having to put on this character of like focus and stuff like that. Right. So I guess it was survival mode. Like saying, I can relate to that part.
That's cool.
But in terms of like how it translated to the parenting I got, it was just like that figure wasn't there. The father figure wasn't there, and I think I came to terms with it early on because it was something that I couldn't change.
Yeah.
And it was I had to just accept it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's why for me it's always interesting having conversations with people that even their fathers are still alive but are not in their lives. Like, how does that look like, man? Like,
right.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Like, cause like I feel like, and it's interesting you brought out the movies things and having to look at movies to kind of like inform yourself on things, because I remember growing up, I'd always talk to my girlfriend about this, which is very interesting. It's like my mom sometimes would go, like we would go to visit my grandma in the village.
Okay.
And then we'll be going for like a month, right?
Oh, wow.
And then my mom would come visit us.
Oh, wow.
And then I remember like, you'll be in the backdrop and she'll be coming and like we'll be at the house, we'll be at the huts, and then she'll just show up.
Oh, wow.
And it would be like the best feeling.
That's so awesome.
Like after a month of not seeing my mom, it would be like she'd have this like superhuman essence to her.
Yeah.
Like she's coming from town. She's and she's looking good, and she's
Aww.
like, you almost feel like suing superwoman.
Yeah.
And for a long time, like when we're children, I think you can relate to that when your parent is not there and then they come. Like I think we attach this superhuman, like to us when we're kids, our parents are like superheroes.
They are, yeah.
And I think that's why like the superheroes movies are are accepted so much in our society.
Loved by many.
And are loved by many because they remember that feeling of seeing somebody.
Yeah, and then you want to emulate that.
And then when you want to emulate that. So how is that dynamic when placed in a situation where that was taken away from you like that? Or where someone is superhuman but not superhuman because of the things they did, like leaving you? Like how do you what do you call it? How do you come to terms with that?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I agree. I think you see your parents in this light of like, wow, they can do anything.
They can do anything.
And then not at first, especially before I became like a Christian, I felt like I saw him as a villain, right? Like he was a villain, and I felt like I needed to like defend the family or something like that, or like have my mom get more strength or whatever. But not so much now. I realize that we're all humans, right? And so I think I can't put all the blame on him. And I think there's this sense of like, okay, he's no longer a superhuman to me, but he's still a human, right? And I think that's the essence of it all. Like we all make mistakes and stuff like that. So you almost have to like let that go and kind of just accept it and move on, or else it's gonna really hold you down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was that? Because I think that doesn't happen overnight, right?
No.
It's a continuous process.
Even to this day, like to be quite honest, like if I saw him today, I would probably like freak out, because I haven't seen him in such a long time. I remember, I think he like tried to befriend me on like Facebook or something like that.
Oh, man.
While I was in college. And just seeing a picture of him, like I was like shocked, kind of like shaking. I'm like, whoa, like, is this what I'm gonna look like?
And seeing parts of yourself in him. How's that?
Yeah. That's the thing. And I think that's what is so difficult. Like there are parts of him that are in me, and I don't know which parts, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have to figure it out. But I think I struggle to kind of just like, you know, love myself and be happy. So like, I feel like I haven't accomplished enough, or I feel like I'm still not enough, you know, for people or even myself. And so I feel like I gotta
why
keep
do you
going.
feel like you struggle with loving yourself?
I don't know. I think I want to be just like admired and loved and stuff like that. And I think that's hard because you don't just have that, you know. So I think I struggle with just like, okay, am I smart enough? Am I talented enough? Am I gifted enough? Am I, you know, eloquent enough? You know. And so it's just like that. Those are the questions I've asked myself in the past. I definitely think I'm getting better. Self-care is pretty cool.
And why do you think that is?
I think I got made fun of a lot in when I first moved to the States because we just didn't have money. So like I would take my pants and like rip them into shorts and stuff like that and try to make it fashionable because fashion is also something I care about. But I think it stemmed from like being made fun of. I remember I had some Skechers and I was like, I thought they were so cool. I was like, this is like my first pair of shoes in such a long time. And then I got made fun of in middle school. And I was like, I remember going to the bathroom and like just like, you know, crying and stuff because I thought they were great, but no one else thought they were great. And I'm like, man, like this sucks. I hate my life. I hate being poor and stuff like that.
And these are defining moments as well.
Yeah, these are like, you know, when you're a young person, these are impressionable moments, right? You learn that other people care about how you look, how you know, how you present yourself, how much money you have, and stuff like that. So
man, now I'm trying to think in my mind, what was I made fun of growing up?
Tell me.
What was I made fun of growing up? Sheesh. I forget most of the things. But
well, you said you went to school in Singapore.
I went to school in Zimbabwe first, since I was like primary school, since I was a kid, until I left when I was 16, 17 to go to Singapore for high school. But I think part of it was, they called me Chigutiro.
What does that mean?
Chigutiro means like a person who's always full.
Oh,
so like,
really?
Because I used to like run around without my shirt.
Oh
and
my gosh!
And like I would like my stomach would be like this.
Hilarious.
So they used to, and they made fun of me one time too, like because like there was this woman, like my neighbor, this woman, I was so scared of her, bro.
Really?
But one time she like put us in a sack, like you know, like those sacks you put like maize and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
why did she do that?
Cause she was just, man, this one was crazy.
Crazy.
Bro.
Okay.
Yeah. I was so scared of her, bro.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. Like I can't think of anything else that was made fun of. I used to be skinny.
Okay.
I used to be really skinny.
Well, not anymore. But now you're all buff.
But I remember I tried to overcompensate for that. I always felt some type of way about it. And another thing was, I grew up in a single parent household in Zimbabwe, so we didn't have much either.
Yeah.
And I think I tried to overcompensate for that, definitely. And because I remember when I went to high school, I had only like 2 shirts and 2 shorts. And the underwear that I wore, my mom sewed for me. Like my mom sewed my whole uniform actually, because my mom is like a tailor as well. She studied teaches home economics in Zimbabwe, which is fashion and fabrics and food and nutrition.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
So she sewed everything, but like it wasn't up to par. It wasn't like the brand, so it didn't look as good as like as much as she put a lot of effort in it. It just didn't look as good and didn't look current.
Yeah.
So I only had like 2 uniforms, and I would wear them during the whole week, bro. Right. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was something like even now, I think that formed a big part of who I am. But I think we put on this mask every day. But what are those masks you feel like you've put on, and maybe you still have on?
So many masks, dude.
Yeah.
I would say I think so I'm like a pretty emotional, pretty sensitive person, right?
Yeah.
And I think and I like that I am, because I I'm really in tune with how I feel, you know, and with how other people, like I can be able to read you and kind
absolutely, yeah.
But the drawback of that is that I get hurt really easily.
Yeah.
And so the mask I wear the most time is that I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
The pain doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Is that why you went to the army, to prove yourself that you were strong and capable?
Maybe, dude. Subconsciously, probably.
Yeah.
I remember we were in basic training. I was the smallest guy there.
Yeah.
And there was this really big dude, right? He was from the Bronx, New York, like really tough, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to befriend that guy because I need him on my side, you know? Like, I'm not trying to get beat up. And so I'm like, am I using him at this point? And I just talked to him about his life, and we became friends.
Yeah.
And he looked out for me, and I looked out for him. But I realized that I'm like, the mask is still there, where I'm just like, I'm still like afraid of getting hurt, you know?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of
that. Do you carry
pain.
through that mask in your relationships as well?
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to like, dude, dating is so hard in Silicon Valley because everyone moves so fast and they're looking for a specific kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm like a hopeless romantic. I can see this beautiful woman standing at the grocery store, and I'm like, I picture my whole life with her, dude. I'm like, I know the name of our kids. I know where we're gonna live. And then I like wake up and I'm like, it's not real.
It's not real.
It's never gonna happen, you know. So I'm like, sucks thinking like that, you know.
You know, I can relate.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it came from a place of insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to do that a lot. It was putting people on pedestals and feeling like they were so amazing, and then I would paint this whole picture. I was talking about it with Cam about how I would get so excited meeting people and just be like, oh my God, this girl is like this and that, like that, and just imagining like my relationship with her.
Yeah,
tons of bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't do that anymore. It's like everybody has like shit in them. Like
everyone's broken.
Everybody's broken
in some
way. Everybody is dealing with something, and it's like part of you loving somebody is being okay with the problems they come with, because everybody's gonna come with a problem.
Yeah.
Like there's never gonna be a perfect situation.
No.
And I think that's what we miss when we
don't let people in,
or look at people from a perspective of like, oh, this is perfect, or that this person is so beautiful. They look like they're beautiful. They have things that they're struggling with, or that are not so cool about them.
There's always a little ugly in all this, right? I love what and I'm gonna butcher it. My favorite poet and writer, Maya Angelou. Yeah, she said that nothing human is alien to me, right? So. A man, a woman, hurting someone, maybe even like killing them. To me, we would say, "Oh, I would never do something like that."
Yeah.
But if that human can do it, then this human can do it as well, right? And so for me, that really resonates because like we like to think of us as like ourselves as like kind, friendly, loving people, but there's still a lot of darkness and evil within that's us. That we're capable of, right? You know. It may be there. We just have to unlock it. Something will trigger it. But that's a scary thing that we're capable of so much.
That's we're capable of.
We're powerful
of doing harm to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your how is your ideal self? How is it different from your real self?
Oh my gosh,
that's a good question. In what ways is
your ideal self? I think my ideal self is just real and I feel a lot of emotion all the time. And I think for me, it's so easy to kind of put on the charismatic, social, kind, friendly, you know, like for me, that's so easy. I can go to that. That's like the wall, right? But like the real me is like, you know, I'm sensitive and I'm just like thinking of so many different things, right? And so I think the ideal self, what I would love for happen is bring that realness and that pain to like, the good things, you know, because this is a good thing as well, you know, and kind of marry them together.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're still trying to figure it out. So I'm excited to meet that a future Jeffrie, you know, in a couple of years from now.
So the future Jeffrie will just be less having to do with the outside.
Less people pleasing and less being afraid, you know.
Yeah.
I think that when I die, like I just want to be like, I was my authentic self.
That's a big thing, man, especially the people-pleasing one. And sometimes it's really subconscious. Because I notice even myself, when I'm around people, I'm very sociable and like very outspoken, very energetic. And then I just come home and I just love chilling and reading. Like I read a lot.
Oh, cool,
nice.
Like,
this is my to-go spot. So like for me, it's like, you know, like I remember someone I was dating at the time, like they were angry at me because she was like, I feel like you give your best self to everybody else, and then when I'm with you and we're just chilling, you're just like this like reflective, relaxed, like laid back, nonchalant person. Like,
oh wow,
like I feel like you just don't want to give that part of you to me. You just want to do that to other people. And I'm like, bro, like when I'm with other people, like that's a face I put on. That's a face. Character that I put on. But like really who I am is I just want to relax and chill and read books and just share knowledge and have conversation. Yeah. We don't have to go out. We can just be here drinking tea. You know, and so it's like
so to tie it all back, to tie it full circle, when I talked about like there's different characters that we all have, right? And that's your character then. You know? That's the sociable person, and then you come here, you can kind of be yourself, and that's the true character, right?
And I think it's important for us to tell ourselves and other people in our lives that it's okay. We can be ourselves. Yeah. We can embrace who we are. We can embrace what we bring to the world. And I think something that's powerful, so that I heard Jay-Z saying, was that, you know, like I look up to all these people. Yeah. But it's like he says something like the idea or the goal is to live out our lives through our purpose, through what we're created to do and created to be. You know, it's like, for example, him in his music, he's living out his life through his ability, through his gift, through his area of gifting, right? And I feel like part of our area of gifting is who we are and the queer qualities of us that may not be similar to other people.
Absolutely.
That's our gift,
that's
right?
What makes it unique.
The uniqueness in us, right? Yeah. It's like living out that allows us to be in line with who we are. But I feel like most of the time we try to like put a lead or a filter on it so that people can accept it. And I think it's that insecurity of wanting to be loved that we're not expressing ourselves completely because we're afraid of how people will see us.
This would be such a much better world if everyone was just their true self.
Their true self. Like, I really liked it when Will Smith told Chalamet, God, that you can take off this. Yeah. You don't have to be this. Yeah. Not anymore. And for me, it was also really like, yeah, man, I don't have to be this perfect person. I could just be me. Yeah. I could just, and I think also it was hard for me even starting this thing because I was like, I feel there's this notion that men have to be strong and don't have to talk, and part of it is like you have to be part of masculinity is not sharing your deeper insights about life. You just have to be this hard guy, and I thought about that before I started this thing, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this.
Yeah, like, you doubt yourself, man.
I doubt myself, and I was doubting myself, and I was doubting if people would be okay having conversation with me and being vulnerable. Yeah, and it's like. And because I was so stuck up on that character that I have to be, it almost stopped me from starting this thing. But now I'm realizing that I don't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can still be a strong man. Yeah. But like a strong man can release their emotions and be expressive and expressive.
And that's what's missing because we're told so much like, over and over again. Like being strong is not talking. Yeah. But it's like our women are hurting because we don't talk to them. Right. Our families are hurting because we don't communicate. We don't show emotion. Right. And I was talking to some of my friends. Like I grew up in a family. Like most African families. Like most people. Most of my friends don't have relationships with their fathers because they felt that part of like being disciplinary is not having conversation. Yeah, it's just telling like, oh, you have to do this, be a man. Absolutely. So what do you mean be a man? You're not teaching me anything on how it looks.
I know it makes me excited to be a father someday, and I think you can relate. I think we're gonna make really, really great dads. I want to be there for them and obviously discipline them and stuff like that, but like love them and just be present, you know.
And that's really what I think. I'll raise my kids differently.
Come on now.
I tell them
our kids can play while while we're here making business or something like that.
For sure, man.
Love it.
I think it needs to be a conversation that it's okay for men to be expressive. It's okay to cry. Yeah. You know, it's okay to be like, yo, I'm not okay. Yeah. And absolutely, because my friend because when I was telling him about this platform, he was like, oh, you know, he's African. He grew up in an African home. He was like, no, bro, like, I feel like I can't go to my girl and tell her I'm not okay and cry. Dang. Like, who's gonna be the man in the relationship? Like, I feel like part of me being the man is like, I can't tell her that I'm not that. Like, it's like, I can't be crying to her. Like, I can come back from work and start crying to her. I'm like, why can't you do that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's just weird. That's like that's not being man enough. I'm like, bro, so you're saying being a man is not crying? It's not expressing your emotion?
You're human still.
You're human, bro. Like, at the fundamental level, you're a person.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm learning a lot so much from you that a man looks different, you know, nowadays. And I think we're opening ourselves to what a man can be. And a man can be strong and be a provider, but also help and be equal and show the realness, you know, show the heart and all that stuff.
Absolutely,
so thanks so much for having me, bro. I really appreciate it.
No,
By the way, I definitely need to get your address because I have a gift for you for having me on your podcast. I do have a gift for you. Yeah.
Yo, for real?
I do, man. So give me your address. It's being shipped here. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, dude.
Bro, no, thanks for coming.
Absolutely, and this tea was amazing. So I
make the best tea. You gotta tell people that if they come and have a conversation with me, they'll have tea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, tea is part of I think it's out, and it's a little cold.
Perfect. Well, I hope.
There it is. That's all we had this week. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had fun, but also I hope you learned something new. And I hope through this, you can look back at your life with a different lens. And remember, vulnerability is strength and the birthplace of love for ourselves and for others. Please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Till next week, it's goodbye for now.